going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our turbo crosskart build. Now I know it's not as exciting as our turbo Mustang, but I am waiting on a set of belts for that thing. We got a test and tune coming up. Hopefully those belts will be here in the next couple days so I can get those swapped out and we can get that car back on the track. Start playing around with it some more, see if we can't get that thing dialed in. But while we are waiting, what I want to try to do is get this radiator right here. I want to try to get that mounted up in about this area right here. I've got some scrap metal and some flat stock that I'll be using to fabricate some mounts. I've also got some 1-inch ID aluminum tubing. As you guys can see, it's kind of thin. I bought this so we can make new coolant passages from the engine to our radiator. Plus it'll help me practice a little bit more welding on thinner stuff. I've also got our oil feed kit for our turbo. Now I think it'd be really cool to get that radiator mounted up and the coolant passages made, get some water in this thing, hook up that feed kit. That way we can let this engine run longer, and I'm really curious, or I want to see how it sounds through that turbo and that exhaust, and basically see if it will even really spool that turbo up. I think it should, but I want to see how efficiently or how well it does spool it up. So that's what we're going to do, or at least we're going to try to do that on this video. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get myself set up, figure out how to hold that radiator in place so we can start fabricating up some mounts. All right, we got our top mount all mocked up and mounted on the radiator. You can see I got it mounted using some of the existing spots on the radiator itself. I did have to cut these guys off. Had one of these, they went on each side, there. Had another little mounting tab right there. Now this radiator is originally for a Honda 4-Trax. I'm not quite sure, I don't remember the year, but I will put a link to this in the description, in case it looks like something that fit one of your guys' projects out there. Good and strong. But now that we got this mount all mocked up, we're going to come over here to the buggy. You see I got it pushed closer to our welder. And what I want to do is get the radiator up into place. And it's going to be tack welded to this bar. That way I can figure out, take some measurements, make sure it goes side to side. Make sure I like the way it fits straight up and down with everything. We'll get it all tack welded into place, make sure I like it. And then we will start moving on to some bottom mounts. And basically what I want to do is use these two original points here on the radiator. So I'll probably use another piece of that 1/8 inch by 1 1/4 flat bar. Go across the bottom with some holes drilled. Maybe put some little rubber isolators there to kind of absorb some of the vibration. And yeah, so we'll get that thing tack welded into place and start working on our bottom mounts. All right, upper radiator mount is tack welded into place. I've also gone ahead and made our lower radiator mount as well. That's at 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 square tubing, and another piece of our 1/8 inch by 1 1/4 flat stock there. Now the radiator is just sitting on the lower mount, but it is sitting on a couple of these little rubber washers or little rubber isolators that I cut out of an old silicone coupler off one of my old turbo kits. And I used our little 1 1/4 hole saw to do it. Whole reason behind all that is because I feel that if the radiator was fully mounted all the way around, that underneath hard use it may overstress or might want to crack the radiator. So we give it a little bit of room to move, might help save it and help it last longer. Another thing too, I know in the beginning of this video I said I wanted to use this stuff right here to try to make new coolant passages from using some of our existing hoses, and I was going to try to come in from here, up and around, try to wrap it around the head here, up and over into our radiator. But after doing that one, I figured, you know what, let's just keep it simple, easy. If I'm ever out somewhere and I actually need a replacement part, I could probably pick that hose up at, well, pretty much anywhere. So I'm just gonna use 1-inch ID hose to go from the pump to the radiator back to the thermostat of the bike or the bike engine. However, I will have to, and I found this out while I was mocking everything up. I didn't pay attention, but our inlet and outlet to our radiator is 3/4. I've already gone ahead and cut this one off and welded in a piece of our 1-inch pipe there. That way it matches our hose. I am going to have to do the same thing the other one, so that's where I'm at right now. I got to get the radiator back out of our little frame there, cut that end off, weld up a new piece right here. I've already got it cut, so just got to get that one cut off. We'll get that one swapped out, get it welded up, get the radiator back in this frame here. I do have to go pick up some rubber hose. That way we can finish up the plumbing and get this thing one closer to firing back up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get myself set up, get that radiator out, and get that piece switched out. All right, so as you guys saw there, we got our little end cut off and got this guy all welded up. Now I just, as you guys saw in the video, I cut this off using a cutoff wheel, used our little step bit, went down far enough, but didn't go all the way through, left a little edge in there for this guy to sit on. And you can see it's about perfect going all the way through. Welded it up. And then used my little wire crimpers here. I'm sure you can get something like this at like auto parts store, AutoZone, whatever. But I've seen this trick on many other videos, and I thought it was really, really cool because I do own one of those bead rollers, but this is just so convenient. And I figured I'd show you guys that little trick in case some of you out there didn't know. Just use yourself a little set of wire crimpers with the skinny nose on it. Has that little bump there. And you end up with a lip that looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll definitely hold the hose on, especially after you get the hose clamp tight. So our radiator now is all welded up, ready to go back in the buggy. I've also gone ahead and put in our oil feed line, and that's just a little 1/8" nipple with a 4-way T here. There's our factory oil pressure sending unit. Here's our line that goes from here all the way up and into the top of our turbo, and that just runs across the bottom there up. I'm going to pick up some more of these guys to help better secure this line. I've also gone ahead and bought some new coolant lines. Now I bought some of this clear stuff. It's like $3 a foot. I picked it up at I think our local Atwoods, but it's like between $3 and $4 a foot. I figured since I wasn't using our aluminum tubing, then it might be kind of cool to see the green coolant running through those lines when it's all done. Of course, I'm just going to use water right now, but when it's all said and done, I think it looked pretty cool to see the green coolant flowing through. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm going to go ahead and get this radiator buttoned up, put back into place, hook up the rest of our coolant lines, rig up our fuel system again so we can hear this thing run for a little while longer and hear how it sounds through our turbo. So I'll be right back. All right, radiator is back in. There it is. Went ahead and our coolant lines are all hooked up. Went ahead and filled it up with coolant. Now I know I said I was going to use water, but really I only had the one jug. I already had coolant in it and couldn't help myself. I wanted to see what it looked like with the green in there. And I think it'll look pretty cool once this thing's all painted. Plus, at the rate I've been building this thing, it may sit through the weekend again. And well, as long as it has coolant in it, we should be good to go. Fuel system is also hooked up, and it's just rigged up like it was before. Oil feed lines are to the turbo. We got the feed and the drain. So I will be disconnecting the drain here after it fires up to see if we got oil draining out of the turbo. I did throw a couple drops in the turbo, so it does have oil on the bearings. Primed the fuel system already and checked for leaks, so the fuel system is good to go. So now it's rigged up to the jumper box. I'll go ahead and put you on the stand right now and fire this thing up, let it run for a couple minutes, and then I'll grab you. We'll check out that turbo, see if it's spinning. So yeah, let's do it. All right, got you on the stand there. You're all rigged up. Turn that guy on. Grab my little keyway starter thingamajig here. Turn the key. Fuel system primes. Sounds pretty good through that exhaust. Oh, she's turning. Look at that. It's spinning. Turbo spinning. Sounds pretty good through that turbo and the exhaust. Quite happy. Heck yeah. There you guys up. Oh, it sounds so good. Put you back on the stand. I didn't let it run too much longer after I put the camera down. Actually, what I did was I came over here, grabbed that fan, turned it up. That way we had some air flowing over the radiator. Since I do not have the electric fan hooked up, but that is one of my next things I need to do. I was keeping an eye on it though. I had my little temperature gun. It didn't get over 160 on the gun, so, and I figure 180, add between 10, 15 degrees. Anyways, you know the deal on that one. I always give myself a little bit of a safety margin, so I didn't let it get over 160 on the gun. But in the comments, tell me what you guys think. I think it sounds pretty good coming through that turbo. It spins. It at least flows enough air through the exhaust to spin that wheel, which is really cool. It doesn't throw a whole lot of air out. I tried showing with the paper towel. Hopefully you guys can see it. I think I got my arm in the way, but it did move it. It did flap. What do you guys think of the coolant lines too? Seeing the green flow through there. Now I do have some trimming and a little bit of tidying up to do on those, at least this side. The other side is pretty much how it's going to sit. But I think seeing the green flow through there looked pretty cool. Hope you guys can see that too. Good oil flow. Like I said, I pulled the drain off the turbo. Make sure we had plenty of oil coming out of the drain, and we did. So at least we know the engine's got oil pressure. But I'm excited. Just got a few more things to do. Next, I want to tackle the cooling fan, of course, get that set up. I want to start tackling our little plenum style air box so we can get that done. Still got a lot of wiring, a bunch of other stuff to do, but we are getting closer every time I work on this thing. I'm just excited to hear it through that turbo. So, but like I said, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, I am going to end this video right here. Got to do a little cleanup. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new and you've made it this far, please hit that subscribe button for me. Continue to help me build this channel. Greatly appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you again. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you on the next one.